Good afternoon, everybody. Is it not a gorgeous day here in Pagosa Springs? Sun is shining. It is the precursor to spring break here in Southwest Colorado. Not our spring break, but of course, we will be hosting many people from all other states around near and far for people that want to ski and be outdoors. I think several people are going to want to come and go hiking because it's so beautiful, but the trails are just not open yet. So you're going to have to stay with some winter sports here in Pagosa Springs. We are certainly looking forward to our spring break visitors, some who have already arrived here in Pagosa Springs. So welcome. We also want to touch on a couple events that are coming up in the up and coming weeks and the month of March. First, we're going to remind everybody our Maximizing Your Membership is next Tuesday, March 14th at 8 a.m. in the morning. Our membership coordinator, Kim Hartfield, will be hosting that event, and she'll be there to tell you all sorts of great information. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. It is amazing to me how many seasoned members will attend one of these meetings and then say, I had no idea you did that. And so I just want to remind our membership, if you haven't been to a Maximizing Your Membership, come. It's an hour out of your day and you will learn so much information. You're probably leaving benefits on the table, marketing opportunities on the table. So please sign up. It's free and we provide breakfast for you. So if you could contact him in our office, just so we make sure that we have enough breakfast for you. The other thing that I want to remind people of is if you are new here to Pagosa Springs, I would also like to invite you to our New to Pagosa meet and greet. That's for newcomers. That term is pretty loose because newcomers could be easily a year old. You could have owned property here for years and are thinking of moving here. You could be a part-timer and saying, hey, I'd like to find out a little bit more or get hooked up a little bit more. This is the time to come. It's the meet and greet on Thursday, March 23rd. It will be held here at the Visitor Center from 5 in the evening until 7. We'll provide appetizers and beverages for you, as well as lots of information and other organizations to be in contact with. So mark that down on your calendar. You can also go to the Chamber's website and we have that information posted. The other calendar invitation I'd like to remind you of is that the month of March, our business after hours will take place a little bit different this year. It's not the typical fourth Wednesday of the month. It will be on Wednesday, March 29th. And that's because the week before is Pagosa Springs' spring break. And we'll have many people out of town and taking a break, and well deserved. So come back and enjoy our business after hours. We will be at the Emerald Fox, which is a fabulous retail store located right next to Natural Grocers, and they will be partnering with Sierra Paint Protection Tint. So those are just some important calendar invites. Another one, a reminder that this Saturday on March 11th will be the Landowner Basics 101, and that will be held at the County Extension Building. I'm telling you, you don't have to be a huge landowner. If you own property, there's something in there for you. Watering, it's how to live with wildlife, forest health if you're interested in that, controlling of weeds. There's just a lot of information that is applicable to those of us that live in rural Colorado. So go and just learn. It's a fabulous opportunity. It takes place from 9 until about noon this coming Saturday. Now, also, we want to remind people that next Wednesday, March 15th, at the Ross Aragon Community Center from 5:30 until 7, the Community Development Corporation and the Archuleta Archuleta County Broadband Office, we'll be doing a broadband update. Now, I know there's a lot of people interested in broadband. What about me? What about my area? What's happening? So this is the time for you to go out, find out what's happening, find out what we're doing here in Archuleta County, what several of the ISPs are doing. It's just an important time for you to know about broadband here in our community. And one other reminder before we move on to our guest today is everybody knows that San Juan Basin Public Health is dividing their services between Archuleta County and La Plata County. And Archuleta County is developing their own public health system. Every 5 years, San Juan Basin Health has been providing a community health assessment. And right now, it's the 5-year plan, even though we're splitting. But even though we're splitting, it's much more important because this information is going to help the task force design and develop amenities that are for our community. So I can't encourage you enough, and we'll be talking about this in the weeks to come, to go and fill out the San Juan Basin Public Health Community Health Assessment Survey. It'll take you about 10 or 15 minutes, but it is worth it. Be a voice in this community for things that are happening in our community. And public health has a huge scope. It's not just your restaurant or your food cart being inspected. It's not just your septic system. There's so many other amenities to a public health system. So please take that time, and we will be talking about it more in the upcoming weeks. We will also have a link to that survey on our website starting next week. Now, the other thing that is just imminent is, and going to happen, whether we like it or not, summer's coming and so are events. But also there is this is a really great time for businesses and organizations to be working on their business, not just in their business. Sometimes we're so busy at the cash register or in the kitchen or whatever it might be. We need to look at what's best for our business. And so here to help us with that is Briggen Wrinkle, who is the executive director of the Community Foundation serving Southwest Colorado. No stranger to our live stream, but we're so happy to have you with us today, Briggen.
I'm so glad to be here.
So Briggen is joining us from Durango, but Community Foundation serving Southwest Colorado, just because your offices, and new offices, I might add, just because your offices are in Durango doesn't mean that you're not servicing our nonprofit agencies here in Pagosa Springs. So first, can you kind of give us an overview of Community Foundation, their work here in Archuleta County, and then let's dive into some fabulous opportunities for our nonprofits.
That sounds great. So just to let you know, Mary Jo, and it might be even news to you, we now have an office in Pagosa.
Oh, that's right.
We have someone over every week. And sometimes it's more. We share an office with a couple of other businesses. And so we're there. So over in Archuleta, we have been doing granting for the last 10 years. We were instrumental in doing some granting for the Adobe fire when that happened.
Yes.
And then we also have provided capacity building over the years for the nonprofit sector over there in Pagosa. So, so let me just back up and just say really briefly, 30-second is the Community Foundation is here to make the nonprofit sector stronger. So it's a better investment for our philanthropists. That's what we do.
Okay.
We do that through grants. We do that through professional development, capacity building. We do that through networking. And so that's what we do. And we have for years done the 19th hole concerts in Pagosa. And the nonprofits, we select new nonprofits every year. The application opened on February 15th. It closes on March 15th. And so if you are a board member or you work for a nonprofit, make sure you've talked to leadership to see if they've applied. And if not, why not? Because it's a really easy and fun way to make some grant money.
You bet.
So what we do is we work with those different nonprofits, and they put on an event every week in the month of June. And the concerts are over there at the Pagosa Springs Golf Course. And they're really fun. They've grown in attendance every year. So we encourage you as a member of the community to also plan to come. Those are on Thursday nights, every Thursday in June.
Great. Okay. I know they're on our calendar. And so we have reserved the month of June to have our guests here on live stream as each and every one of those nonprofits that have been selected. So we're always thrilled to help in that way. And so you mentioned capacity building.
Yes.
What exactly is capacity building and how does it help us?
Right. And so capacity building, it can be in a lot of different veins. So for instance, I have a fund holder that will pay for a first time audit. To get that nonprofit started in that he thinks audits are really important. He comes from that background. It can be board training. So we actually are doing a board training coming right up. It's hard to believe, A, that it's March, but B, that this is at the end of the month. So we're bringing in a nonprofit guru from Mountain Sage Consulting. His name is Mark Holt. He's been doing this for decades, and he is going to do a 3-part series in Pagosa, Durango, and Cortez. But let's focus on Pagosa and really for trying to develop an effective and dynamic board and setting organizations up for success at rural philanthropy days. Don't say that fast and don't say it 3 times. But that is June 7th through 9th, and that is an opportunity for nonprofit organizations and their boards to participate to meet front range funders. So that's what the training's about. In Pagosa, we are doing our first session on March 27th from 1 to 4:30 over there at First Southwest Bank at 249 Navajo Trail. Then the second session is a Zoom. So you have 2 times to choose. You can go Tuesday or Wednesday to a Zoom. And the third time is back at First Southwest Bank on Monday, April 10th. So the pattern is it's every week for 3 weeks, and you will go through all the different best practices of a board staff relationship and what boards should be focused on and doing. And this is so valuable because an organization truly is only as strong as its board. Your ED and staff can work and work and work, but if they don't have that board behind them out there in the community talking about what you're up to, it's just not as strong as it could be. Think about it. I tell my board, if you guys, all 12 of you, are out there for 1 hour a week talking about us, that's another 12 hours in my work week that somebody's been out there. So it's just so important. And so many of us in small towns are on several boards. And so we need to acknowledge that. We need to be the best we can be. We need to figure out how to support the organization and the sitting ED. It's invaluable for an organization to grow.
Well, and Briggen, so many times people that come and sit on boards, they join it because they have a passion or they think it's great or it looks good on their resume, but they really don't know what it takes to be a board member, whether it's I need to attend the meetings or you need to manage financials, not minutia. I think that, there is I don't want to say art, but there is a structure to that. And I think that this, as you mentioned, is extremely valuable. What I'm so impressed about is it's for the low price.
Oh my gosh. It's $60 for 2 people. So I'm looking for a board member and a staff member to come. And we're subsidizing it like crazy because we want people to be able to afford it. I know a lot of nonprofits are saving their dollars for Rural Philanthropy Days, which is June 7th through 9th. So I got some corporate sponsors, and we really are offering it. And I have to be honest, Mary Jo, it's very limited. That room at First Southwest Bank can only hold so many. They only have so many chairs. And so we are going to have to cut it off. And so it will sell out. So if this seems like the right thing for your organization to be doing, you've got to sign up and sign up fast. I think when I looked this morning, it's been a slow trickle, but we were 50% sold here in Durango. I think 60% sold in Pagosa, and around 70% in Cortez. So the seats are going. Sure. We've done our basics, some social media, but really, and some emails and things like that. But word gets out through things like this and word of mouth. And so we're really hoping to sell out all those sessions and really give a great training to some nonprofits.
Well, I'm thrilled that this is coming. And truly, if anybody that is watching this show or has a friend or sits on a board and you would like some more information, certainly call the Community Foundation or call me, and I'm happy to talk to you about the importance of these kinds of trainings. It just, again, as you mentioned, it just builds and sets the foundation for those strong organizations, visioning, financial security, all the things. You don't want to be on a board, or you don't want that organization to exist for a year. You have to look at yourselves 5-10 years down the road.
Right. And I think it was really telling when you listed those things that you have to do to be a good board member. You didn't say fundraising. And I see in small towns, nonprofit executive directors will soften that blow, and you won't be necessarily honest about all the things that are required. And, it's an opportunity to train the nonprofits too, to be very upfront with what the expectations are. What's the time commitment? How much fundraising? What does that look like? Some nonprofit organizations need them to make a few phone calls, send a few letters, talk to a few friends. Others have very aggressive programs in order for board members and for the organization to meet their goals through their board members. So we'll talk about all of those things. Nonprofits should have a board member contract. I mean, when you do a soft sound to people in Southwest Colorado, rural Colorado, I'd say it's 2 out of 10 that have that contract that lines it out. Here's what staff will do. Here's what the board members are expected, and you sign it. Do they do an orientation? Do they do a strategic planning session? And so we'll go through all of that and try and
I'm doing that.
Try and chunk it up too, so it's not overwhelming. We can't change everything all at once, but yeah.
Well, I think it's exciting. And again, if one of our nonprofit agencies wanted to meet with you when you come over here on Mondays, is it?
Yeah, I come over on Monday.
So how would they go about scheduling an appointment with you?
Yeah, so they can send me a quick email or call me. So my email is briggen@swcommunityfoundation.org. Most of the nonprofits over there in Pagosa know me and have my contact information, but feel free to reach out. I would love to book time. But I got to share with you a little something. I am really hoping to create a group over in Pagosa over the next year where it's collective impact granting. And so there's a national organization called 100 Plus Women. And so the concept is getting 100 women signed up, meeting somewhere, and they all throw in $100 and they pick a nonprofit. There's some more details to that, but that's what I'm working. Okay. I would love to meet with people who want to get that started. We got it started right before COVID started, and we are at $15,000 for each of our grants in Durango. And I've met plenty of women over in Pagosa that I think would be excellent at getting this started and doing this collective philanthropy. $100 only goes so far, but if you can get that collective group and you can give out a grant of 10 or 15,000, that's amazing.
It would be. Well, thank you so much. Just as always, a wealth of information for our nonprofit community and our community as a whole, because we all participate in that. And lots of things going up. You can get all this information on the website for the Community Foundation. And as always, we thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to hosting the nonprofit organizations for the 19th Hole Concert Series in June. that's it for us today. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, which is Motel Soco, which again, poor little Mary, she came to fly in our balloons over Winterfest and didn't get the opportunity. So I'm sorry about that, Mary, but we want to thank Motel Soco for being so generous during our Winterfest event in providing lodging for one of our balloonists. And thank you in these past couple weeks to all our lodging facility. We could not do these events without you and without your support. So we really, really appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Get ready for spring break. We have lots coming up. Hopefully you'll be able to take some time and join us next week. Please don't forget to call Kim in our office and sign up for your Maximizing Your Membership class, which will be held next Tuesday. That's it for me today, everybody. Be safe and be careful and enjoy our beautiful community and outdoors. We'll see you next Wednesday.